That is the hardest part of that ring.
Well, the hardest part of the ring. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 3 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where 4 friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. Today we're focusing on the WWE Mae Young Classic, the women's tournament that concluded on Tuesday night. But before that, let's introduce ourselves. My name's Adam, and with me today are Sam.
Hello.
John.
Hey.
And Brett.
Hello.
Hello. So guys, just to catch up quickly, apart from the Mae Young Classic, what have you guys been watching? Anything good, John?
I'm still catching up on G1 at the moment.
Oh, really?
A lot of wrestling to watch.
Yeah.
I know who won it, and so it's not about spoilers, but I still need to watch quite a lot of it. I still haven't watched the final yet, either.
No, I haven't. I said I was going to catch up, but I've just been watching other progress and catching up with WWE weekly shows and things. So I will do it at some point, but it's all there. There's no rush.
There's too much wrestling in the world.
There's a lot.
There is.
There's so much at the moment.
Yeah. Brett, are
There
you
is.
watching anything?
But when you realise, when I watched all the G1 night at the time, and then not having any like New Japan to watch for what seemed like forever, I was quite pleased to watch some of the Ring of Honor New Japan UK tour, which was
Nice.
great. Seeing those characters again, didn't realise how much I missed them.
Well, it'd been literally a week or something, hadn't it? Or 2 weeks.
Probably. I think it might have been 2. Felt like forever though.
With New Japan, they're building for the next pay per view, aren't they? Like the Road to Destruction or something.
I think they may have already had Destruction. It seemed like there was one or two like road twos, and then the actual event.
Okay.
Cool. So that's been keeping you busy. Sam?
I haven't actually been watching any other wrestling, I've just realised.
What?
Yeah, no, like I've been watching Mae Young Classic. I've been watching a little bit of Stardom on YouTube, but that's it. So
I'm starting to question your commitment to the cause.
I know,
Loser.
no, I'm starting to question my commitment. I'm disappointed in myself. I've let you all down.
You have. Okay.
Not for the first
You
time,
need
so it's okay.
You need to buck up your ideas before our next
Sorry.
podcast. Well, yeah, as I said, I've been catching up on more progress because that's all I seem to watch. But they had their New York and Boston shows, which went on demand, and they were really cool just to see how they come across over in the States. And they've got a big following there, and everybody seems to get in with the chants and things. So they were really good, fun shows. Although Pete Dunne obviously had his injury and wasn't able to wrestle, but still appeared and still snarled and did his thing.
Pete Dunne's got one of the best sneers in the whole.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I need to watch Chapter 54. I haven't got around to that. And then obviously the massive Ali Pali show is going to go on demand probably this weekend. So that looks good. And then did anyone catch Raw on Monday?
I did. Yes.
Strowman looking dominant as usual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, slowly adding
Yeah.
a few new moves to his repertoire. So with running drop kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a running drop kick.
Yes.
Sort of. He
I saw
sort
him,
of missed the guy.
Thank
I
God.
saw him
Jesus.
selling Brock Lesnar's German suplex, and that was very cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Basically rolling through it like a boulder.
He couldn't like legitimately beat Cena though, could he?
No one can legitimately
No.
beat Cena.
Yeah, they have to
Yeah.
protect Cena.
They did.
Cool. Well, before we crack on with discussing the Mae Young Classic, I just wanted to quickly say thank you to everybody who's listened to the first 2 podcasts. Everybody who's downloaded, thank you. We've had some great feedback from people on Twitter and Instagram and things. If you're new to the podcast, the episode 1 was a bit of an introduction to us, and we talked about some of our earliest wrestling memories and favourite current wrestlers and cool things like that. And then episode 2 was our review of SummerSlam, so please do feel free to go back and listen to those. Also, I wanted to tease something that we're going to do at the end of the podcast, which is our first ever competition, sort of giveaway. Brett is going to be giving away something that he owns and did.
Yeah,
personal
indeed.
possession.
Yeah, it's the T-shirt he's wearing right now. Pod number 3.
Unwashed.
Oh no, not this one. Yeah, unwashed.
That's a nice T-shirt.
Yeah, this is a.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, cool.
No, a lot of people don't know. Well, nobody's going to know that Brett is actually the man responsible for our artwork, for the illustrations that you see on our podcast artwork. Brett does drawing for a living, and
drawing.
We're going to give away the original artwork for today's episode, which is Tony Storm, isn't it?
It is Tony Storm. Might chuck in a couple of badges as well.
Badges, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So listen to the end to find out the details on how you can potentially win that. So yeah, now I guess it's time to talk about the Mae Young Classic.
Ooh, yeah! Oh,
Before we get into it, I mean, I personally, got to be honest, I didn't really know much about Mae Young. I don't know if you guys had much of a memory of her. But I did a bit of reading, a bit of research into who she was and what she got up to, maybe I should have known a bit about her because she's broadly known as one of the pioneers of women's wrestling, alongside her great friend, the fabulous Moolah. She began her wrestling career in 1941, and along with the legendary Lou Thez, is the only performer to have wrestled in 7 different decades, which is pretty astonishing.
7 different decades?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, wrestle is probably, I don't know, the last couple of matches she had weren't really proper wrestling matches as such,
Well,
but she appeared in rings and she took bumps.
I was going to say she made a couple of appearances later life, didn't she?
Yes.
I think that's all I remember.
I mean,
Yes.
my overriding memory of Mae Young is essentially her being introduced to a table by the Dudley Boys. So,
Yeah, I think that happened when she was in her mid-70s or so. I think she was 77 when she got power slammed
That's
through a table twice
insane.
by the Dudley
Yeah.
Boys.
Well,
Yeah.
she died when she was 90. Now, for a wrestler to live until they're 90 is crazy.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a career of 2 halves from what I've read. We had the first few decades, which were fairly unheralded, but she wrestled around the world for numerous promotions, winning a number of different championships. And throughout the 1940s, she wrestled in loads of territories that hadn't ever featured women's wrestling. And I think she remained one of the most active and successful female wrestlers for the next few decades on from that. But it was 1999 when she made her debut appearance with the fabulous Moolah on an episode of SmackDown. And then she made semi-regular appearances on WWE shows right up until 2008. And actually on YouTube, there's loads. And on the WWE website, they've got a tribute to her and they show loads of clips of her doing backstage stuff and some of her in-ring appearances.
That's really cool. I was just going to say, like, for the age, like, around 1940 or so, where, you know, sexism is obviously very rampant, and especially in a very male-dominated industry,
Yeah.
it's genuinely really cool.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, you could say it's a little bit of a shame with what happened when she did join the WWE, because obviously it wasn't a particularly politically correct time in the 90s and early 2000s.
I mean, is it safe to say that she kind of, in that environment, she did flourish in the way that they kind of wanted it to? Like, you know, it was shock TV for the Attitude Era, and
Yeah.
she was very much a major part of that for whatever she was involved in. It
Oh,
was always
definitely.
a bit shocking.
She totally embraced it from what I've seen. But, I mean, I've got a list of things that she did. So in 2000, she won the Miss Royal Rumble swimsuit contest.
Oh, good lord.
Oh.
She had a kayfabe relationship with Mr. Sexual Chocolate himself, Mark Henry.
Who
which
hasn't known,
resulted-
right? Go on.
That
remember
relationship resulted in the feud with the Dudley Boys that ended with those power slams through tables.
I mean, that relationship ended with her giving birth to a hand.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
I
weird.
read she mothered Mark Henry's baby, but the baby turned out to be a rubber hand.
Yeah.
Why?
That tells you a lot about that era of WWE. In 2006, she appeared in a bra and panties gauntlet match.
How old was she in 2006? She must have been 80, actually, I would guess.
Yeah, definitely around that age. 2007, She won a Divas Bikini contest.
Oh, good.
I'm starting to see a bit of a theme with all of these later
Yeah.
matches.
Sometimes with WWE, you're just like,
Oh, God,
But
yeah.
they are
definitely.
rewriting their history about women's wrestling, so...
They like rewriting history.
yeah, they definitely do. Well,
do.
I mean, the whole Attitude Era thing, like, it gets lauded up on WWE.com and on the network so much. And obviously it was an amazing time for wrestling. Some massive stars were born. But going back and watching some of the wrestling from that time, it's so unwatchable. It's just so sexist and homophobic and awful.
Yeah.
Xenophobic.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we get a bit of that now.
SmackDown
So, yeah.
xenophobic? No.
This is obviously quite a good career path, though. 2006, 1 year you do a bra and panties gauntlet match. The next year you do a Divas Bikini contest, and then the next year you get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I mean, can we just point out that, at least in those bra and panties matches, she was as dominant as Asuka is now. Like, undefeated in bra and panties matches, Mae Young.
Amazing. What a woman. And then in November 2008, she appeared in what many refer to as her last proper singles match against Victoria, which was on the 800th episode of Raw. And I said earlier how she competed in 7 decades, but if you gave a little bit of leeway, you could say 8, as she did appear on an old school edition of Raw in 2010, where she competed in a match against Lay Cool.
Now,
But it wasn't really a match. Nothing,
remembering correctly, that in the anniversary episode of Raw, they actually had her and Mark Henry's child grown up turn up.
Like a big hand.
I can't remember. I might have to
big
YouTube
grown
I
it
hope so.
later. I thought they
Yeah.
did something with that, and I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people listening who were bang into it at the time who will be...
Screaming and shouting as we are
yeah.
half
I can't
remembering.
believe you don't remember Mae Young's child. So it was, she was 87 when she appeared in that match with Lay Cool. And after that, she made a number of other backstage appearances before sadly dying in 2014. So yeah, definitely a career of two halves. A real talent in the ring in her early years, breaking boundaries and inspiring others, followed by her time in WWE, which definitely focused more on the entertainment side of sports entertainment.
But fair play to her. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the culture was, and she thrived in it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, just getting in that ring at 80 is immense.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So here's to Mae Young.
Hooray.
Well done.
Well done, Mae.
Well
I
done.
hope this. I hope that was a fitting tribute. If you're listening. Okay, so the tournament itself, the Mae Young Classic, following on from the hugely popular Cruiserweight Classic, the Mae Young Classic tournament was announced at a press conference during WrestleMania back in April, during WrestleMania week, that is. The tournament featured 32 competitors and acted as a showcase for women's wrestling from around the world. There were 13 different nationalities represented, including 17 wrestlers from the US, which I thought, when I was looking through this, I thought that's quite a few. And I had a look back at the Cruiserweight Classic, and they only had 9 from the States at that time, but obviously they have a bit of a larger talent pool to choose from. They had 2 competitors who made it to the tournament by winning qualifying matches on NXT, Bianca Belair and Vanessa Bourne. They had 1 wrestler who was called up as a replacement. So Miranda Salinas was called up to replace Nixon Newell, who was unable to make it due to injury, which I was a bit gutted about, having seen her on Progress and a few other matches.
So I hadn't seen Nixon Newell, but you were hyping her up for me. Is she the girl who comes out to Bewitched?
Yeah,
Oh, I would love to have seen that.
yeah. Sam, in our time working together, Sam, well, I was going to say was a massive Cella V fan, but
It is.
Bewitched, yeah.
I'm still championing double denim. It's
I'm
gonna
pretty,
come back.
I'm pretty sure he was
Double
trolling
denim.
us, but who knows? The earlier rounds of the Mae Young Classic, as we know now, were recorded back in June, and then the live final happened last night, Tuesday. It was quite dangerous though with those earlier rounds being recorded so long ago, because I was looking on Wikipedia to do some research for this last week, and obviously all the results, if you scroll down, all the results are there. So I quickly scrolled back up and avoided looking, but
Yeah, you're
that's
lucky.
the problem, I guess, with this kind of thing.
Well, What do we think about the release schedule? The sort of blocks of 4. You a fan of that?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I think it worked okay.
So one of the things I really liked about this final was it was just half an hour long.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I would have preferred more episodes that were maybe a bit shorter and just kind of watching it like that.
Well, I quite liked being able to, if you get the shorter episodes, you're going to get the bump for the start, the bump in the middle, the bump for the beginning, and just 2 matches or something. At least for the longer episodes, you were getting 4 matches.
And then a bunch of the matches were very short anyway, I think, for time, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
they were.
I don't think that
detriment.
First round was the strongest of first round tournaments I've seen, but got better, got really good.
Yeah, it did. In terms of the wrestlers involved, were there any wrestlers that you guys, were hoping to have seen or would have liked to have seen from your in-depth knowledge of worldwide female wrestling?
I actually really wanted to see Io Shirai there, and I was a bit gutted that she didn't quite pan out with WWE. I think she picked up a few concussions in her time at Stardom, and I think kind of she had a tryout for WWE, and they basically said no.
Too much of a risk.
Really? Yeah, and so I don't think that kind of panned out for her, and I think that would have been kind of nice to see, as I really, really rate pretty much every Japanese wrestler WWE have brought in the last few years. Like, they're all so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen Dahlia Black, just again from seeing her lots on Progress, but she was injured at the time. She'd had that bad.
Broke her foot or something, didn't she?
Yeah. So she wouldn't have been able to make it.
I was thinking, like, because I think there was a number of people I know of that were actually already in the tournament. So I was like trying to think, and then I thought, going back to Progress, I would have liked to have seen Ginny in there.
Yeah,
because like I always find she's one that whenever she's in a match, I underestimate sort of, I think, how good she is. Like, I think she's a great heel, and some of the matches actually, when you see what she's like achieving in it, I thought actually, she probably deserves a shout. Yeah,
because she doesn't really look. Maybe it's her outfit, like her ring attire and stuff, but she doesn't really look that athletic in a way.
No,
disrespect, but yeah,
no, not at all. She doesn't look like a wrestler. I think that's probably why I always underestimate what she does in the makeup
ring.
And the attire. But yeah, she definitely, I think, would have been a good.
She's a good shout.
Yeah,
and they definitely would have hammed up the Britishness like they do with every other British wrestler. Yeah. John, any females you would have liked to have seen that weren't included?
No, I think you guys mentioned everyone, so that I was kind of thinking, and I thought it was a bit strange we didn't see a few more NXT, maybe just 1 or 2, just because some of the first round sort of competitors were so green.
Yeah. They had. I mean, they did have quite a few people who were on NXT's books, didn't they? Some that I knew about, some that I didn't. But obviously, I guess once we've talked about the tournament, we can look at what we think the future holds for some of them. So in terms of our picks to win it, did anybody have any favourites? I think we all earmarked Kairi Sane as a favourite to be there or thereabouts. But anybody else?
I thought Tessa Blanchett was going to go quite far until I saw she was against Sane in the first round.
Yeah.
Maybe Candice LeRae as well.
Yeah, I also expected Candice to kind of go further, but I mean, she got to the quarterfinals. That's pretty far.
Yeah. I thought Toni Storm would do well, and obviously she did, but so that was good to see. So the early rounds, obviously, we've mentioned that it was sort of a slow starter. I think that's quite often the case. I do like how usually with these kind of tournaments you get to see a little bit of each wrestler. There's always going to be a chance for each of them to showcase some of their talents. But I mean, some of these matches were very short.
Yeah, I thought probably through this round and through a few rounds, Toni Storm's matches were a bit short because you didn't really get to see what she was capable of. But I mean, there was like a couple of matches. I think there were some decent matches in there, but there was one that I think surprised me in how good they were, which was Mia Yim versus Sarah Logan. I thought
I thought
she
that as well.
impressed in that match.
Yeah, Mia Lim was, I thought, great.
Yeah, totally.
I really liked Sarah Logan in the one match she was in. I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about Logan. Don't like the gimmick.
Did you get a bit of a Bray Wyatt vibe from her?
No, more. I don't know. Does anyone remember an old TV show called Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman?
Yes.
That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from her.
Yeah, well, she certainly gave the sort of backwards, wooden hut sort of lifestyle. Go out
the
and
Davy
kill
Crockett
your food.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Well, there's speculation that she's going to be the future Sister Abigail, which would probably work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd dig that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see her feud with, what's her name from Sanity?
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
Thank you, Nikki
Yeah.
Cross.
Yeah. In terms of other first round matches, I quite liked the Jazzy Gabbert or Gabert?
Yes.
Gabert.
Alpha
Gabert.
female.
Jazzy Gabert versus Abby Leith. I thought that was pretty cool. Jazzy, my God, she hits hard, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
Fierce striking. from her.
mean-looking woman.
And obviously really expected her to win. So that was one of the biggest shocks for me in the first round.
Yeah,
I
totally.
thought
That was one of my favourite matches.
of the whole tournament.
actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Abby Leith was one of the standout competitors for me.
She was really good.
I didn't realise it was Kimberly until after the tournament was finished.
Yeah.
But I thought she was excellent throughout this. And when she came out, I was ready to hate her.
Yeah.
That first match she had with Jazzy Gabert was a really good kind of bigger versus smaller match where, it just worked really well. I think Abby Leith's kind of finisher being the pin as well was really, really cool. I like that a lot. Like, I don't think you see many pin finishers. And
It was certainly a move that guaranteed her a bit of progress through the tournament, wasn't it? Being a Mae Young move.
Then I also noted down Kavita Divide versus Dakota Kai. Not because, Dev Divide was one of the greenest, as we said. She didn't really have any history, but she was very strong the way she was lifting Kai. And I sort of liked the mix of her strength and then the speed of Dakota Kai. And Kai throughout the tournament I thought was good. And
Yeah, she was
she's
another
got
standout
a
as
good,
well, I think.
good future.
I did not. I'm going to be like the opposing
Yeah, go
thing
for
here.
it.
I didn't get Dakota Kai or how she progressed through so far.
Oh, that kick in the corner is great.
Yeah.
though.
That kick in the corner, but that's it. I was like, what else is she doing in the ring apart from getting beaten up?
the coup de grace, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't love that as a move anyway, even when Finn Balor does it. But like she just seemed too limited in the ring compared to like some of the other people. I get like the look and why she progressed, but the in-ring stuff, I was just like, didn't get it.
Someone who I was really impressed with, who I thought was I don't know how new she actually is, but was Rhea Ripley.
Oh,
who I
yeah.
thought had a real energy to her that I think kind of, with time, that's going to be a top star.
Her confidence just on the walk down to the ring was terrifying. Like, it made me scared.
I really like that a lot. I just thought that's kind of...
I thought she looked a lot like Noel, Mick Foley's daughter.
Noelle Foley, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it now you've said it.
Yeah.
She has great drop
she was
kicks
great
as well. Like, her drop kicks look great. Actually, in her first round match, she was against Solanas.
Salinas.
Yeah, I thought she looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, surprisingly so, because I know Adam just said like she came in for someone who was injured.
Yeah.
But I thought I was impressed with her.
Shall we move on to the second round?
Well, I just want to put one more point in. I think there was a couple of wrestlers in this first round that got knocked out that I think should have definitely gone through further compared to some other people, and that was Santana Garrett and Tessa Blanchard, obviously.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that they should have beaten their opponents, because I think Piper and Sane were definitely like, the winners in that, but they were just too good to go out that soon.
But they like that narrative, I guess. They've always got to have that one match and then first round they're like, oh, these two could have been finalists and it's a shame to see them pitted together. And I suppose it's avoiding having every single match easy, making it easy to spot who was going to win it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when Sane walked in down to the ring for that first match, and we'll talk about her a lot, I'm sure, but obviously she is tiny.
Yeah,
so I had a little look.
5'1".
Yeah.
5'1".
5'1".
There's a podcast point up for grabs here, guys. Maybe two.
Uh-oh.
There are two other wrestlers. There are no wrestlers shorter than Sane on the WWE books at the moment, but there are two other wrestlers who are the same height as her. Who are they?
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I think John said that first.
Boom.
And what did you say, Sam?
Dakota Kai?
Sasha Banks.
Oh.
No. John, you could double up.
Hornswoggle.
Nikki Cross.
Yes.
Really? Wow.
She's pretty
She's
short.
taller.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and Kairi Sane are all 5'1". So
Podcast
there you
points
go.
to law.
Points all round, except for Sam. So not all round.
Just quickly, while on the first round, what
Yeah.
did you guys think of the presentation? So when the match started, turning the lights down on the crowd, so it was really black. It felt like almost like a progress show.
Yeah, it felt
Yeah.
more of an indie feel. It was cool.
That's cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot
Yeah.
as well.
I wish they'd do that more often.
Yeah, because you just get those great shots where you just see the wrestler against this sea of black. It just makes them really pop. I really love it.
Yeah.
Cool. So second round, or the Sweet 16 as they called it. Any particular sort of standout matches for you guys?
I thought the match of the tournament happened in the second round.
I think I know which one that is.
Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
match,
was amazing.
it had everything I love about wrestling. It had a really good heel, really good
Really
face,
long hair.
theatrics, and original moves. I just thought that was excellent. I love Bianca Belair going mental with the hair.
That hair whip, yeah, it was insane.
Oh, yeah, it's nasty, isn't it?
It's
You can't
so
fake
cool.
that, can you? That was just every slap.
Yeah.
It seems so
It
painful.
made a very satisfying sound, didn't it?
Yeah. And Belair's a novice, isn't she?
Yeah.
So she's
Like a year, I
NXT
think.
developmental.
Yeah, I looked into this because I was thinking, like, with her there was a bit of a parallel with Charlotte in the fact that how good Charlotte is in such a short sort of time from beginning training to wrestling. And I even looked, like, just to look at the parallel, like Charlotte began training in 2012 and then in 2015 she had a Divas Championship, and then in 2016 she's like having, you know, awesome matches with Sasha Banks. And Bianca Belair was signed in 2016, which is when she started training.
For me, Bianca Belair was the standout surprise of the tournament. Like, I know a lot of kind of wrestlers here came in with a lot of expectations on them, like Toni Storm and Kyrie, but Bianca Belair I knew nothing about. The only thing I knew about her was I saw that preview of her qualifier on NXT against Aaliyah, and then other than that, it was like just going nothing. And she reminds me so much of heel Sasha Banks when she was kind of doing her boss, actually being like the boss as opposed to just being a face.
Yeah.
It's very familiar and it's very cool. I just, was really blown away by how good she was in the ring.
And how much, like, you know, her moveset sort of thing, like how much she can do in like that space of time. Like the athleticism and strength, I think, obviously have helped her in that, but it's just bonkers when you look at other people.
For me, Bianca Belair like represented very much a finished package, ready to kind of go onto any WWE programming and be a part of that fiction. Like, kind of, she has the character, she has the ability, and I think she had the moveset.
I think this match definitely showed it more than the first round. I wasn't convinced in the first round.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, obviously an opponent of the quality of Sane was just allowed it to ramp up.
Yeah, I think kind of the benefit of that was Kairi Sane's selling is top notch.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
really
totally.
kind of vocal and just sells really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love
we haven't
that
even
match.
talked about her elbow yet.
Thing of beauty.
It is so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and not just that. Like when she does, like, is it a blockbuster? But like she flings her legs over her head when she does that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I found like parallels with her and AJ Styles. With, I mean, obviously she has
that forearm.
a few forearm moves, but it's the fact that the way she executes like those moves make them look just like astounding compared to someone else doing them just as standard sort of thing. It's like that finesse.
Which makes it all the more impressive when she jumped off the top rope and face plants.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and that was in the next round. But, that was pretty amazing.
I was also going to mention Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim.
Yeah, great match.
Yeah.
That was a really good match.
So, I mean, I actually thought after that one, I was like, Mia Yim should have progressed. Like, I think Baszler had done a couple of things in matches that I thought were good, but I hadn't seen anything that I thought, yeah, she's, worthy of going further. But I think she changes that later on in the tournament, definitely. But at that point, I was just like, there's no way she should be beating Yim there.
No, Yim was... she's a great wrestler. I want to see more of her.
I thought Baszler went from strength to strength, though. Like, every single match, she seemed a bit more...
Yeah, definitely
dominant,
stepped up.
I think she really sold it well.
And
she's obviously a really good wrestler, Baszler, at the moment, already now.
Yeah.
There's one thing that really bugged me, like her kicks.
Are so weak.
Oh,
yeah,
aren't
so
they?
Weird, aren't they?
I thought that as well, and I thought, is it because she actually like properly used to kick people in MMA, and she's like too tentative, whereas wrestlers, when they just go in as wrestlers, they're quite, they're quite harsh and quite strong on each
Never
other.
stops Brock though. I mean, Brock's going to open up with his elbow. He doesn't care.
Baszler did also nearly kick Kairi Sane's face off in the final.
That improved as well, I thought. But
maybe
earlier on,
she'd rewatched her matches on the network enough times before last night and realised she needs to kick a bit harder.
Just kick someone.
Yeah,
just kick them.
This was obviously the first time we saw the four horsewomen facing off against the other horsewomen.
Was it really? It felt like that was every episode of this.
Yeah, I think this was the first episode where they had Charlotte and Bayley and
Becky Lynch, wasn't it?
Why could Sasha Banks not turn up to that?
That was strange.
Yeah.
Like, why have three of the four horsewomen? I just annoying.
She must have been injured or prior engagements or something. I mean, should we talk about that? Do you think that's something that's likely to progress? Obviously, they're saying pick a time, pick a place.
Definitely.
So, I was telling you guys over the WhatsApp, I'm starting to think four horsewomen wrestling versus four horsewomen MMA at Survivor Series tag team elimination match.
I think it's too big a match for Survivor Series. I think it's
I've seen people talking WrestleMania for it.
I don't know. I think kind of
you
WrestleMania
get so many eyes on it.
Yeah.
I think kind of Survivor Series is one of the big four pay-per-views.
It's the fourth, isn't it? It's the bottom one of those.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what an opportunity to actually put a major kind of match in there.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think that they could have the
star
four
quality
versus the four, and then, as I think you said, you could then lead to actually having Ronda versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, or that's a big singles match.
Yeah. That's what I would say. I would say Ronda versus Charlotte, like kind of almost you would say the two leaders of each group.
Yeah.
Or if you want, Bayley versus Baszler. Jekyll versus Hyde match.
Long lost twins.
You think Baszler looks like Bayley on steroids, don't you, Sam?
I do genuinely think that. She is terrifyingly cool.
Terrifyingly cool. That's kind of like a little bit of a compliment in there to take away from the slight insult. I don't know. Maybe not.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the phrase I was looking for. Also in the second round, I noted down, Brett won't be happy with this, but Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai.
No, I thought that was I had that noted down. I thought it was a great match.
Yeah, that was one of my favourite matches. There was a spot where Ripley dropped Kai's face into the apron, which was really brutal. Which even Brett will have enjoyed. It's Kai's face.
I also thought Pippa Niven versus Selena Deeb.
Yeah,
was really good.
Yeah, I thought Niven had like great matches throughout. I thought this wasn't the best one of the ones she had, but they were all decent.
Yeah,
definitely. I think she's really good. I think they should sign her as well.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
Yeah. She was one of my, if not my favourite performer, actually. Just because she offers you something different.
Yeah, and she was solid throughout. Like she consistent with good matches, a bit like the Miz.
Her match in the next round was fantastic.
Yes.
Which I'm sure we'll move on to.
Yeah, quarterfinals. So I noticed with the quarterfinals they seem to skip a lot of the VTs before and after to allow for the longer matches. I think they went up to 25-minute time limit in the quarterfinals, and obviously in the older rounds they'd had the 20-minute limit.
I mean,
which was good.
Those VTs, every single one of them was always so perfectly generic. Like, she doesn't know who she's coming up against. I'm going to hurt her, and it's just like that's. I found it so funny.
They just filmed a load of them beforehand. Standout matches. I mean, I'll start off because you said that Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane was your match of the tournament. Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler was my favourite match of the tournament today when that match happened.
It was really short.
Yeah.
I because I found with a lot of the matches they were kind of slow going. I really loved the pace on this one. It had a really, really amazing quick start with Candice LeRae doing the suicide dive into the DDT.
Yeah, that was lovely. That was lovely.
Then she did an octopus hold.
Hold.
And it was just really, really quick. And then obviously just lots of fierce strikes from Baszler, and then she did the submission at the end, and then the bell went, and then she kept on holding it, and Johnny Gargano was in the crowd, and I really enjoyed it. Just
did you notice Candice LeRae's total lack of ring awareness? Like they like talking about ring awareness in
they do.
matches. She was practically touching the ropes, but didn't reach for the ropes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like she couldn't be any closer.
And you think she'd have that awareness? You think that's all they'd talk about?
Yeah.
In bed?
I thought the match itself had a really good story to it. Like you said, I think actually having a smaller wrestler kind of rush around and try all these kind of quick tricks almost to kind of get through it, and then eventually the size difference catching up with her. I really like the end where they jump into the sleeper hold, and I just thought, there's a good story in that match.
Yeah, it was cool.
Sorry, throughout this tournament, I was a little disappointed with Candice LeRae. I mean, she's one of the great female wrestlers, but I mean, her match in the second round with Nicole Savoy was a bit rough.
Yeah.
First round match was a bit.
I like the first round match because she finished with the Wild Ride, which was cool. Looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked really telegraphed in the second round match, didn't it? It was so slow and so worked out. It was awkward. This was a better match. Versus Baszler, though, definitely.
I really liked Piper Niven versus Toni Storm.
Yeah, that was great.
Me too.
Love the bit where they kind of mirror each other and do the handshake. I thought
the double bridge
so
handshake
cool.
was cool. Yeah.
I mean, those two. I'm assuming they've wrestled each other a lot before.
Yeah, I think
those are two people who you see them in the ring and you get a bit of a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn kind of vibe from them. Is that fair?
I think they have. If you look,
probably not quite as, but I know you're getting at. Yeah, definitely.
Does anyone know why they didn't use any footage from ICW or Progress? Because obviously they showed quite a lot from Shimmer, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Did you notice that most of those, in the first round in particular, most of the VTs from Shimmer were other people beating up Kaylee Ray?
Yeah.
But yeah, Toni Storm, just obviously having seen her on Progress become the first ever Progress Women's Champ, she's just great. She's just got so much charisma.
Yeah, she's money. She's totally money.
And finally, I thought having seen her in Progress, she had a match which showed what she's capable of. Like in this one, and she's 21.
Yeah, I know. It's terrifying.
That's mad.
Obscene.
She looks like she's been doing this forever.
Yeah. Totally.
Dakota Kai, another match I enjoyed. Brett, Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane. I mean, it wasn't one of the best, but I liked it. That running knee strike, which we talked about earlier, a couple of times she did it, and it just looked so brutal. It might have been the camera angle. They never seemed to really capture it full on the connection she was getting, but it did look brutal.
Yeah.
And then the only other match that I wrote down was the Mercedes Martinez Abby Leaf one.
We haven't talked about Mercedes Martinez yet.
Yeah.
Didn't like her.
I got a little bit of a Randy Orton vibe from her.
God, I thought you were going to say you got a little bit randy.
Yeah. Where's that going?
Probably best we don't talk about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's like the hooded sleeveless top or something. I just thought, oh man,
The tattoos.
yeah.
I'd
Wasn't
like
bored.
done some like watching of like some of the people in this tournament before, and Martinez was like the clips I'd seen of her. I was really impressed. But throughout this tournament, maybe it was the short matches. Some of them were slow. Like up until the next round, I didn't think she had a decent match. Like there was moments in them, but nothing like great, which I was, I found quite surprising. But the next round, I think that totally changed.
Yeah.
I didn't like the little shimmy she does when she gets in the ring. Just something about it really grated on me.
I've had her theme music stuck in my head for like the last 2 days. It's
How does it
really, I just know there's a horn in there that goes like ba ba ba. Bum, da, da, dum. Are we going to cut this out?
Yeah, catchy. No, we're definitely keeping this in.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's going to be the new Sting.
It's catchy.
Semi-finals. Let's move on to the semi-finals where they had the 30-minute time limit. I don't think any matches got anywhere near that though.
No.
I didn't note down any times, but there weren't any real lengthy matches, were there? Even the final was shorter than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So obviously 2 semi-finals. We had Shayna Baszler versus Mercedes Martinez, and I just thought, considering how the tournament had been progressing and how the quality had got better and the matches were improving, it was okay. It wasn't as good as I was hoping for a semi-final. It was quite slow.
It was always going to be quite a methodical match this
Yeah.
one.
I thought they had good chemistry, obviously, because, it seems like Martinez trained Baszler from what they were saying. I thought the physicality in this match was quite brutal. Like, the strikes from both of them was pretty spot on. Like
Mercedes Martinez's chop looked like the most painful one of that tournament by a long shot.
And I think it was that familiarity which allowed Baszler to actually start kicking as well. Like when she was striking, she started to, properly connect.
Yeah, that's true. This was when JR officially labelled Baszler a slobber knocker.
That's
JR,
why he's one of the greatest.
He was really good, wasn't he? We've spoken before about how we've seen him on a couple of shows and his performances haven't been so good. I think the United Kingdom special, and then there was some other tournament that we watched fairly recently where he wasn't great, and I thought
that was the US New
G-
Japan show.
Yeah, G1 special in the US, wasn't it?
I thought I really missed Mauro Ranallo for this tournament. Like, I thought he would have brought something to it that would have been a bit more kind of energetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love JR. Like, when I see him come out, it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
Like, his voice is the voice of wrestling for me.
Yeah. Maybe it's because, like, the pace of, as you say, like with JR and Lita, it's quite none of them really, like, ramped up the excitement with commentary. Not that they were bad. I didn't like dislike anything they'd done. It was just, as you say, someone like Ronaldo really brings in that excitement.
Ronaldo would always be first pick, wouldn't he? Probably.
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Graves.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
I was very pleasantly surprised, kind of like with Lita's commentary. I kind of thought I really like the fact that kind of having a female commentator. I think that's something they should continue with. Shows.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was given a spot, particularly now that JLB is gone from SmackDown.
Oh yeah,
JBL.
JLB. Yeah, who's JLB? It's probably some tractor company or something. So the second semi-final, getting back on track, was Kairi Sane versus Toni Storm.
Yeah.
This match had a few talking points, didn't it?
Bloody hell. Yeah.
Wow.
This match had the most notes. I almost ran out of paper. Where do we start? Should we just start with the massive face plant into the ramp?
Oh my god!
Ouch.
That was
Wow!
Wow.
Ouch.
yeah,
Instant massive mark on her face.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I thought, but one thing I thought was the ref's gone over to talk to her, but she doesn't speak a word of English.
Yeah.
But she dealt with that so well. I mean, you'd think
Yeah.
most other wrestlers would probably roll over to the side a bit,
Yeah.
spend a little bit of time, maybe face down, regrouping. But she just lay there on her back and
Yeah.
dealt with it like a true champ.
She was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
I did find it quite hard to watch after it, though. It's a bit like with the NXT TakeOver show when Aleister Black got his bloody nose. I just found it really hard to watch after that.
Yeah.
Too real, John.
Yeah, it's too real for me.
Don't
Keep
like
it
the idea
kayfabe.
of them actually hurting themselves.
No.
Kyrie, just throughout this tournament, like, she seemed to be the kind of person who every time she took a strike, she got stronger, and it was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
kind of.
We haven't mentioned her spear. I really like
Yeah,
her spear.
I love the
Considering she's
spear.
so tiny, it kind of shouldn't work.
I think it's her speed though. It just looks
Yeah.
like she does look like a little bullet when she like flies into someone, and
Yeah.
their reaction is always great. So it sells it each time.
Yeah. And then what about the Tony Storm armbar?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
bridge. Oh, so
My
good.
God.
That
was a
was
thing of
really
beauty.
that was a wrench.
It was. It looked so painful. And in fact, throughout the whole match, they both did really well at selling. There was a lot of screaming from both of them.
Yeah, I'd love
Good.
to see Kyrie Sane in a
Good
match with
screams.
Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, that's a bit of the New Japan flavour coming over, isn't it? Like the screaming during matches. I love that.
Yeah.
The more vocal, the better.
One of the things I really like about all of the Japanese wrestlers at the moment is they are so just really good, kind of theatrically. Like
Yeah, the
going back
character.
to like the second round, Kyrie Sane catching Bianca Belair's kiss
Kiss and
throwing it on the floor
stamping it
and
out.
stomping
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so
It's
good,
just-
that bit.
It's little things like that which just like they endear you to the character, and it seems like all of WWE's current Japan wrestlers all kind of have something like that going for them.
Do you think it's? I mean, I think it's obviously there's a cultural thing where they do more of that anyway, like in Japan. But is there like a bonus from the fact that they don't speak great English, so they feel like they've got to do more
yeah.
physically and in that aspect? So therefore they can't, like, you know, Nakamura with his little like leaning against them and the shake and stuff like that. Like so many good.
They're theatrically expressive, and I think
Yeah.
it's really positive in wrestling. Like it translates across so well, because you know you can't always hear what they're saying to each other. You can't always kind of like get everything vocally, and it can't always just be promo, then put on a match. Like getting across a character in the ring is kind of a really big deal, and I think
Yeah.
Kyrie just did that so well constantly throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah.
She's an all-rounder. All round great.
But just Japanese wrestlers just seem to be really good at telling that story in the ring. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it shows as well with like the wrestlers who have wrestled a lot in Japan, like AJ, and
Yeah.
you know, kind of the wrestlers who have spent time there, kind of maybe picking up that Japanese style. They bring it back, and it just
Storm,
reflects so well.
Tony Storm, of course, spent
Yes.
time in
Yeah.
Japan, and
Absolutely.
you know, one of the points they made is that she's wrestled in 13 countries before she was 20.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine going to 13 countries before I was 20.
I know.
I don't think I've been to 13 countries yet.
But there's still time. Well, not before you're 20.
No,
Although we won't reveal to the listeners how old you are.
not 20.
45.
I'm the
yeah,
baby
but-
of the group.
He is. He actually is. Going back to the Japanese thing, though, obviously, not obviously, but Storm congratulating Sane in Japanese at the end as well was
Yeah.
classy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice touch.
At the end of this match, though, after the Storm leg drop, did you
Yes.
see the ref whisper to Storm? Storm then whispered to Sane.
I did see the Storm whispering to
Didn't see
Sane.
this.
No,
what
I
happened?
didn't see it.
What do you think they were saying?
I don't know. But let's speculate.
Do you think the ref was just like, "You're wrestling really well"?
Yeah. Keep
just
up the good
seems,
work.
Yeah. Storm
Actually-
was like, "We're doing a great job."
One thing I noticed was after the semi-finals, obviously when Triple H and Stephanie all came out, was the kind of the awkward Triple H ushering the loser out of the ring.
Yeah, holding the rope down with his foot.
Just a little bit like, come on, you've had
Come
your
on,
moment,
out you
get
go.
out.
Yeah.
You need to get the shot
Yeah.
in.
That was awkward. But yeah, this was my favourite match of the tournament. This just beat the Candice LeRae Shayna Baszler match for me.
It was a
It
great
had
match.
everything. It was lengthy.
Yeah.
It had that wow sort of what the fuck moment with Sane in the face plant. Just had loads going for it. So really enjoyed it. Final time.
Final.
Yeah. I love
So-
the final.
Shall we be
Yeah,
honest
final.
and say that before the final, we all WhatsApping and we all said Baszler was easily going to win this?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I said I can see she probably will, but I really don't want it to be the case.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be the diving elbow drop. Into the submission.
Yeah.
Which we'd seen,
That was-
you know,
We all
variations.
wanted the same thing, didn't we? Which was essentially a Kairi Sane win, but we expected a Baszler
Yeah.
Yeah,
win.
which
we
made
expected
it so much more
WWE
sweet.
to screw us again.
Yeah,
The story they told in this match was awesome.
Yeah.
Like the ribs and
Yeah.
kind of that whole section of Kairi going after it, like the forearm in the corner into the ribs, I thought was just
Yeah.
excellent.
it was good. It had a nice steady build, didn't it?
I really like the beginning with the sort of pinning combos they were doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Kairi kind of breaking out of all of the submissions. It was just kind of like it was
Yeah.
a done your homework kind of moment. It was really cool.
yeah.
And even like Baszler sort of really dominating early on and sort of targeting the elbow.
Yeah.
Thought it was a nice touch.
I think
Yeah.
Baszler brought out a lot more moves wise as well, like some different submissions, you know, obviously the manipulating, working the joints and all that stuff, which was great. And then
Those
her
valuable
two
few months
of a
in between.
kind thing, what was that? Like some slam that she calls a two of a kind?
Oh, the
Oh,
gut
yeah.
wrench.
Gut
yeah, the
wrench,
gut
yeah.
wrench.
Gut wrenches.
Like,
Those are
I
really
thought that
cool.
was great.
That's a great
Yeah.
name for it as well. It's
Yeah.
nice with the team.
We should talk about how obviously the final was only half an hour, which was a relief to most of us because we got to watch it this morning before getting on with our days and then recording this.
Separately, we didn't wake up together.
Yeah, we all woke up together in our John Cena bed sheets and watched the match. I expected it to be a bit longer. I mean, I know we said it was quite good the way it was half an hour, but I thought it was quite low key for a final of a tournament that they've been building up to for so long. I expected there to be an exhibition match or two.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a tag match.
Yeah.
More of a build up, more of a history.
I expected
Something.
to see like some main roster or NXT stars, you know, like have some match in there as well.
Yeah,
Like,
but do we think because it was late, so obviously they'd had SmackDown in Vegas, and then I don't know if 100% if I'm right in saying that they then had 205 Live and then this.
I think, I
I
thought
don't think there'd be
they'd
that
had,
many people there if it was.
yeah, I thought they had the final and then 205 Live.
That would make more sense. So again, that's probably why they kept
But
it so
yeah,
short.
I think that's why they just like shoehorning it in between those shows, so they didn't want to give it too much time.
I don't think it made any sense to do it in front of the SmackDown crowd. Why?
Yeah.
Why take it out to there? Because the crowd didn't seem that into it. I mean, they were good, but not great.
Why
Yeah.
didn't they time this to go with like the next pay per view? Like,
Yeah, I guess. Well,
Just have it at
they
full
wanted
sale.
it to be a standalone thing.
Give the guys at Full Sail, you know, the people that are turning up throughout and have been a great audience for both the Cruiserweight and this. I think it's
Yeah.
a shame to sort of take it away to SmackDown fans who are the ones that might hang around for that and then, you know, might hang around for 205 Live.
No one's hanging around for 205 Live.
No one's hanging around.
So would you have it live at Full Sail
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just have it?
And then
on a
you can
different
have, like,
night when
a-
there's no other wrestling.
Yeah, you can have a special, you know, with other people
Yeah, that would have been better.
matches.
I think
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
more of it. It just felt a little bit rushed.
There was no spectacle, I
it
think.
felt like it deserved bigger.
I also wanted to see Sane pick up that massive trophy, which is the same size as her.
I
To see her climb it.
Yeah,
I wondered what was going to happen there. I was like, I thought she's going to... No, she can't pick that up. Is she going to?
Yeah. Also, how's she going to get it home? Just, like, logistically. Like, do they deliver it?
maybe they give her a little miniature replica. or something.
Yeah.
And just goes to
They give her a
headquarters?
certificate with a photo of it on.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, just looking at the roots of the final, Sane obviously beat Blanchard. then Bianca Belair, then Dakota Kai, and then Toni Storm, which is a pretty impressive list of wrestlers.
All great matches as well. All of those
really
were
good.
great matches.
Baszler beat Zeda in the first round. Then Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, and Mercedes Martinez.
And those are all good matches.
Decent, but Sane is definitely
the right person won the tournament.
She was so over though, wasn't she? Like,
Yeah.
the crowd went crazy.
so over, so talented. Can't
From the
wait
get-go.
to see what
Looks
happens.
like a character from Soul Calibur. It's great.
Whilst we're talking about people who were so over, did anyone see the 3-woman tag match?
I did.
The 6-woman tag match. That was kind of the special before the final.
Yeah, I did.
And how
Yes.
over Jazzy Gabert was.
Yeah, what's the story there? Because it was almost if the crowd were going totally over the top on purpose. It's just
I don't know what the story was. I probably should have looked into it, but
No.
it was
they love her.
really cool. And I love Triple
They
H's
did.
reaction to it as well.
Yeah, you're costing me too much money, wasn't it?
It was. It's just kind of, it's nice. It's awareness, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the crowd were chanting, "Please sign Jazzy" or "Sign
Yeah.
Jazzy," wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, you did this during the cruiserweights, and it cost me too much money." And that was good.
And that's Kota
Cool.
Ibushi did not sign for WWE.
Probably for the best, though, right?
And I'm glad.
Yeah, could you imagine on 205 Live? What
Oh,
a
what
waste.
a waste, yeah.
God.
Sweet chin music.
Okay, so moving on, we do have a listener question to discuss now. Ian Holly on Twitter has asked us, who do you think the WWE should sign, and anybody ready to go straight into the main roster? So I think there were quite a few that the WWE already have signed. It was fairly well known that Sane had signed quite a while ago. Obviously, quite a few of them were already on NXT.
Yeah.
I imagine quite a few of them will be on NXT in the future. But what about the main roster question? Do you see any of them going straight on to SmackDown or Raw?
Yeah, well, I thought, I know they got knocked out in the first round, but I thought Blanchard and Garrett were both. They've got the look. They've, totally. I think I don't know how long they've both been doing it, but they seem well seasoned. I just thought they looked polished.
Especially with Tessa, because obviously she's second generation. WWE love that.
Yeah, I just think they would easily slide into the main roster vibe. I think some of the others who were great. I mean, you could probably say Sane could, because character-wise she's totally there. But I think some of the others would do good with NXT. To learn that sort of other side of it, even though they'd be solid.
I'd like to see Yim. I think Yim would be good.
Yeah, she was so good.
Yes, and she's got a great story as well.
Yeah, yeah, really good.
I think Bianca Belair should be, heading up NXT Women's at the moment. I think she should be that main event.
I think she might get signed up before going for the belt or anything in NXT. I think she might get that step up.
I think Sane will probably end up on NXT because we know now that Asuka's going to Raw.
Well, Sane is going to be fighting for the NXT title
At TakeOver, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah.
Oh, we know this, do we?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
announced today, I think.
Triple H announced it.
Oh, amazing.
So
Yes.
So, and do we know who against?
No.
I'm not sure.
No.
I would assume it'll probably be Ember Moon.
Yeah, or there
That'd be so harsh
might
for
there
Ember
be a
Moon,
few
who's
more?
been fighting for that title for so long. And Oscar
I don't
finally goes.
I don't think Kairi Sane should win it.
No, because then what do they do? It would feel like then you'd have her just
They're trying to
dominate.
replicate Asuka.
Yeah,
NXT Women's title should be the last stop before main roster.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ember Moon has earned that.
yeah.
Ember Moon's ready for main roster as well.
Exactly. You could argue that. Oh God, I've forgotten her name again.
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross is also. I'm smashing it today with this.
They got to keep
Yeah.
sanity together, though, haven't they? Because that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Cross win the
belt.
NXT
Yeah.
belt. That would kind of make sense.
I think kind of they're doing a disservice to the other NXT women's wrestlers if they say, "Oh, the winner of this tournament from a bunch of indies is now going to be the champion." I think it's not really fair on those lot. They've already had to sort of kind of except the fact that none of them were good enough to beat Asuka kayfabe, obviously, and that's like, a little bit harsh on them. Yes, it's great for Asuka, huge benefit for her, but again, like, I don't think any wrestler should ever be billed as this invincible wrestler, because it hurts the rest of the kind of characters.
I disagree. I love how unbeatable Oscar is. Just on other wrestlers, what's the situation with Candice LeRae? Because I thought she had signed for NXT, but she's still doing indie shows all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know if she has.
I mean, that was the same with Gargano and Ciampa when they first signed. They were doing indie and NXT for a while.
Yeah, they seem to be allowing a lot more of that, don't they? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the deal is.
I mean, a slightly different news. You see that AJ showed up at an indie show?
Yes.
No?
He just made an appearance though, didn't he?
He
came in.
just showed
He
up.
made he came into his entrance music, and
Yeah.
he was wearing. Did you see? He was wearing like flared jeans.
Yeah.
I thought of you, John. I thought you would have seen that and just passed out.
No, I mean, if I had seen that, I would have turned it off instantly.
Yeah, copying your style. How dare he?
I do not wear flare jeans. I want that on note right now.
You've dropped a lot of shade on us today, Adam.
Brilliant.
Calling me 45.
Don't alienate the listeners who wear flared jeans, John. There's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, it's a strong look. If you're comfortable with it, go for it. All power to you.
Wear a denim jacket with that.
Excellent. So, Mae Young Classic. I mean, a success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed it.
absolutely.
A bit worrying in the first round, but totally like ramped up from that point onwards.
Yeah.
I really want WWE to continue this trend of doing tournaments. Like, I really like tournament wrestling. I kind of want to see them do it with their main roster characters.
Yeah, I was thinking this as well.
King of the Ring.
Yeah, bring back King of the Ring.
But make a big deal out of it,
Yeah, totally. I thought that was going to be the case with the cruiserweights and stuff. I didn't think that they necessarily needed a show or they needed to sign everyone. I just thought they would, have it each year and get a few back who perhaps, didn't get to the end, and then get some more new guys in. I thought that was going to be like a regular occurrence. I didn't realise it was just going to be a one-off onto a show which they've totally...
Yeah, I
messed
suppose
up.
that's probably I mean, that's not. We don't think that will happen, but that'd be the worst case scenario. Is if they said, "Hey, so we're going to now have Mae Young Wednesdays and start having weekly shows with all the other women." But I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah, I think kind of they should try and bolster their SmackDown women's division.
Yeah, they're in a great position now. They've got all these women who've got loads of.
It's so good for which I've enjoyed with NXT, particularly the fact that. Like with the UK guys, and as we said, like they're getting more non-contract people in who work with other promotions or whatnot, appearing, having those things. I think it works if they allow themselves to branch out a bit with the wrestling community.
It's just spreading the brand, isn't it? It's just
I just think it would be a win-win for WWE and smaller promotions, just like it has been for Progress. I feel
like a lot of this is Triple H's influence on WWE as of late, just kind of being a lot more self-aware that WWE isn't the only wrestling brand out there, and it kind of, even hearing them name drop, other promotions in the commentary, it just makes it feel a lot more,
And of course, getting Glenn Joseph and Jim Smallman in the background, in that on NXT the other day. I love all that kind of stuff. It's
really cool.
Those guys have had an incredible year.
Yeah, they have. Well. What a positive ending. Well done,
everyone. What a great
everyone.
tournament.
Yeah. What a great tournament. Love wrestling.
Wrestling.
It was a nice palate cleanser after SummerSlam.
Yeah. Okay.
On to
So,
Mercy.
next podcast will be No Mercy. We'll review that. That is the Raw pay-per-view, which is happening on the 24th of September. And then we also are happy to say that we are going to be recording a bit more because we realise that there's been quite big gaps in between the first, the second and the third podcasts. And we're all enjoying it. So we're going to start doing most likely one pay-per-view review a month and one other podcast a month. We've got lots of cool ideas up our sleeves, so look out for those. The competition, Brett, I'm sure loads of people have just fast forwarded through the whole podcast just to get to this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier we have artwork for every single episode, and all the artwork for the podcast is done by Brett.
Yeah.
And he does it initially with a pencil and then with a pen.
A pencil and a pen.
Some of his secrets. So the original artwork, we thought it'd be quite cool to share that, whether you're a Tony Storm fan or not. It's a pretty cool thing to own. So we thought we'd just keep it simple, and we're going to pick somebody from random, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning it is retweet the episode tweet.
And follow us.
And follow us, yeah. So follow us on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, I'm sorry, but next episode I'm sure there'll be another competition that will open it up a bit further. By the time this is out, there will be a tweet with the episode linked to it, and we'll make it really clear which one you need to retweet. So follow us and retweet that, and we will pick a random winner maybe in a week's time or so and get that posted out to you. And
Surely we'll
check.
announce it on the next podcast.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. Well done, Sam.
And check out the Instagram to see a photo of the art and the badges that you'll get sent.
Yes.
Put a little
Brett,
pack together, little fun pack.
Is it like a screen print like your other art, Brett?
No, this is an original ink brush pen.
Oh, what?
An original, the one and only. There's not any others, so very limited edition.
Can you be a member of the podcast to retweet it?
You can try your luck, but I don't think you'll have much. Brett, the social stuff, how do people get to that?
You can find us on Twitter at Hardest Part Pod. You can also see some fun images on Instagram at Hardest Part Pod.
Are we talking Ted Cruz style fun images?
No.
No. Okay, cool. Just wrestling related.
We'll keep it clean.
Okay, good.
There might be violence in the pictures, obviously, because this is wrestling. But
yeah, that's all right.
That's all right.
But not too real for John.
Not too real.
Just keep it safe, guys. Keep it safe.
No bloody noses.
We'll try and avoid blood. And we're on Facebook as well. If you go to Hardest Part Pod, you'll find us there. And finally, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at hardestpartpod@gmail.com.
Nice.
Did I get there?
I think
I've got it wrong.
@ring@gmail.com. But anyway, that was everybody. That was Brett's audition to sort of sew up the social segment for himself for the foreseeable future, and he's failed miserably.
Yeah.
So join us next time when John will be trying
someone else gets the job.
Some web addresses, and it just shows how hard it is. But yeah, the email is hardestpartofthering@gmail.com.
There we go.
Nice. Please do continue to tell all your friends about this podcast. I say continue to, but if you haven't done it, please do. You can subscribe to us in all the normal places, and if you are really lovely, you can rate the podcast and leave us a review. As I said, we'll be back for the No Mercy review around the end of September, but for now, that's it. So it is goodbye from me, goodbye from Sam.
See ya.
Goodbye from John.
Bye.
And goodbye from Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest